It's Thursday, the 30th of April, across Greater Manchester. This is Channel M's lunchtime news, and these are today's headlines. Warnings a swine flu pandemic is imminent as tourists arrive back in Manchester after cutting short their Mexico holidays.
You could feel the tenseness, you know what I mean? Everybody's running about, a lot of staff are running about with masks.
Also coming up, the council saying sorry for wrongly telling a woman her husband had died.
Just through the letter. I only read one line, just the top line, and I was stunned.
And made in Bolton, the 2012 Olympic Stadium.
Well, it's pretty good, really. You're gonna see, like, for years to come, all the work that we've put together, and the way it's going together is brilliant.
Good afternoon. First this lunchtime, the World Health Organization thinks a global swine flu pandemic is imminent. The official alert level has been increased to 5 on a scale of 6, with one official saying it's not now a question of whether people in Europe will die, but how many. At Manchester Airport, a special plane's been laid on to bring back holidaymakers who've cut their trip short in Mexico. Nina Warhurst was there to meet them.
Taking no chances, passengers who haven't even flown in from Mexico doing everything they can to protect themselves.
Can we just ask why you thought it necessary to wear a mask on your flight?
I didn't want to get sick.
Are you concerned about the swine flu?
Yeah, I was.
Well, all of this week we've been talking to passengers returning from Mexico who say that they think the threat level is being exaggerated here in the UK. But today, around 250 passengers decided that it was time to come home. And they include Brenda and John, who are from Chorley. Brenda, what made you think, right, enough is enough, I've got to get home?
Well, the children and the messages we were getting from home, the news you were getting over here was far greater than what we were getting there. So the children were really pleading with us to come home.
We were talking to the tour operator's representative, who were very much playing it down. I think a lot of damage limitation, of course. To be quite honest, the story's never tied up, so it's a bit unfortunate.
Terrifying for your family.
Yes,
oh,
absolutely.
really terrifying. Yeah,
really
the children have
about
been really concerned.
Yeah.
Well, about 2 or 3 days after it all went on the news, the hotel and everything was dead quiet. Everything went dead.
He just got up, went and seen the rep, and he said there's a flight today at 4 o'clock if you want to go. So we made the decision and come home.
And what about you, Mum? Is it a relief to have them back?
Yeah, I'm glad that they're back, yeah.
Tuesday, you just kind of noticed people were all talking about it. Everyone was kind of asking, oh, what do you think? Are you going home? And it just started from Tuesday morning then, and everyone was worried because of all the different information going around, and everyone just had decided, I think, on Tuesday afternoon that they wanted to go home, and that was it.
You could feel the tenseness, you know what I mean? Everybody's running about, a lot of staff are running about with masks.
So that's the situation at Manchester Airport. Some very relieved holidaymakers returning home from Mexico. But interesting that the holiday companies put on 3 flights to give people that option, and far from filled just one of them. But that situation may well change, especially now the global threat level has been raised to 5, indicating that a worldwide pandemic is imminent. Nina Warhurst, Channel M News.
Thanks, Nina. Well, the latest information from health officials is that there are now 5 confirmed cases in the UK. One of them a 12-year-old girl from Torbay in Devon, who was on the same flight from Mexico as the first 2 confirmed victims from Scotland. The other 2 are a 41-year-old man from Redditch in Worcestershire and a 22-year-old man from Barnet. They've both been on holiday to Mexico. A helpline has been set up containing details about the virus and details of an increase in stockpiles of antiviral drugs to treat up to 50 million people. If you want more information, call 0800 151 3513. Public health expert Dr. David Baxter from Manchester University has been taking part in an online discussion with readers of the Manchester Evening News to try to dispel some of the misunderstandings surrounding swine flu.
From pigs, it's spread by the respiratory route. Yeah. In human beings, one would think it would be spread the same way: coughing, sneezing, and also on hands, which is why the 2 good control measures people are talking about are good respiratory etiquette, know what to do about coughing and sneezing, and also the importance of regularly, frequently washing your hands in soap and water. I think one of the things that I would say that perhaps is reassuring is that the Home Office, the UK Border Agency, are saying that people coming back from Mexico, unless they're ill, shouldn't isolate themselves, can go into work, and although they've got to keep an eye on themselves and make sure they don't develop illness within 7 days, they're not being restricted in any way.
British forces are this lunchtime ending their combat operations in Iraq. A handover ceremony is taking place ahead of them returning by the end of July after 6 years there. 3,700 are still there as control of the area around Basra is passed to the Americans. Defence Secretary John Hutton is there for a special service to remember the 179 British personnel who've lost their lives in the conflict. Police are investigating a suspected arson attack at a pub in the early hours of this morning. A couple were asleep in the flat above the Derby Arms in Bury when they were woken by a loud bang. They got themselves out safely but had to be treated for the effects of breathing in smoke. A man's been charged with murdering a man in Cheetham Hill after being extradited from Italy. 33-year-old Amejan Hizaj is due before magistrates accused of killing Bob Singh at a takeaway in April 2004. Marjan Semaj from Albania has already been sentenced to life for his part in the murder. Salford Council said sorry for sending a letter of condolence to a woman following the death of her husband at a care home when he was in fact alive and well. The letter told the family their direct debit for Jack Flinton's care was being stopped because of his death. It's now been revealed it was a mix-up and the letter should have been posted to another family. Beverly Walkden's been to meet the Flintons.
Well, Barbara here is still recovering from the news that your husband is indeed alive and he's not dead, Barbara.
No.
What did you think when you got that letter from Salford Council?
I really can't say what my feelings were. I just threw the letter. I only read one line, just the top line, and I was stunned.
But you'd seen him the day before, so you knew he was alive, and then you get this letter.
Yeah. He wasn't well, but he was alive, all right, you know. I can't really say what I felt other than shock. I just threw the letter on the table, which my daughter picked up, and when she read it, oh my God, she flung her arms around me, you know. It's not true, you know.
Well, it's lucky you've had your family to support you, and son Nick here. You've been looking after your mum and your dad. What was the effect on your mum when she got this letter?
A devastating bombshell, from my point of view. All I heard was screams and tears coming for something physically had gone wrong. When I saw the letter, I just ran into the kitchen, picked the phone up, given 50 words for one at the council. The only response I got from the council was, "I'm sorry." That's the information I received.
And your mum suffers angina as well. It can't have been very good for her.
Well, angina, to me, if that happened to anyone that was alone, that could have resulted in devastating consequences.
Absolutely. Well, Salford Council has apologised to the family. They say the mistake was made as a result of human error, and they've apologised profusely to Barbara and Nick for putting them through this pain and anxiety. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Bev. Taxi drivers who were planning to protest outside last night's Champions League match between Manchester United and Arsenal scaled back their plans at the last minute. It was feared the demonstration would cause gridlock, but after talks with police, the go-slow drive was confined to Eccles Town Centre and Salford Shopping Precinct. The drivers are angry at plans to lift the limit on the number of Hackney carriage licences. Council workers are trying to work out what made a part of a main road collapse in Didsbury. This was the gaping hole which opened up in Barlow Moor Road late yesterday afternoon. Traffic was badly disrupted as cars were forced to find another way round between Palatine Road and Wilmslow Road. Now it's just 3 years till the eyes of the world fall on London for the 2012 Olympics. Work on the main stadium is now well underway. What might surprise you is that much of the construction work is being done in Bolton. Ben Bland has been to meet some of the people working on it.
From this to this. Looking at time-lapse footage, you get an idea of how much work has already been done on the Olympic Stadium in East London. And the latest aerial photos show how it looks at the moment. The company responsible for much of the construction work is Watson Steel, based in Bolton. It employs nearly 300 people, with many of them working on the Olympic project since the middle of last year.
Well, it's pretty good, really. You're gonna see, like, for years to come, all the work that we've put together, and the way it's going together is brilliant.
It's fantastic, really. It's good for the company. It's basically good for engineering all round to show what we're actually capable of doing in a place like this.
These structures in the workshop at the moment will eventually become part of the roof on the main Olympic Stadium. Once they're finished, they'll be taken down to London by road and slotted into place. Watson Steel has also won a number of contracts to build bridges on the Olympic site. And although they can't tell us the value of all these contracts, to be working on a project of this scale and size is undoubtedly good news for jobs and the local economy here in Bolton.
Well, obviously it gives us an opportunity to showcase the abilities and the skills of the workforce that we employ here at Watson's in Bolton. Some of these lads have worked father to son and even grandson on projects over the years, and this now it's the icing on the cake to work on the Olympic Stadium.
In total, 10,000 tonnes of steel will be used in the construction. Though it sounds and looks like a lot, it's actually the lightest Olympic stadium to date. When it's complete, it will have the capacity to hold 80,000 people. And the whole thing started life on the floor of a workshop in Bolton. Ben Bland, Channel M News.
Sport in a moment, but first, triple Olympic champion Usain Bolt, who's due to take part in the Great Manchester Run, has reportedly been involved in a car crash in his native Jamaica. He was taken to hospital along with his female passenger, but isn't thought to be seriously hurt. Run organisers are hoping he'll be fit enough to run here in May. The man, dubbed the fastest on earth, won gold in the men's 100 and 200 metres in world record times at last year's Olympics in Beijing. He also triumphed in the 4x100 metre relay with Jamaica. Let's take a look at the lunchtime sports headlines now, and with all the details from United's Champions League semi-final, here's Mike Bradley.
Thank you, James, and it's advantage to Manchester United following last night's 1-0 first leg victory over Arsenal. John O'Shea scored the only goal of the game after 17 minutes, with the second leg taking place at the Emirates on Tuesday. Arsenal boss Arsene Wenger, he believes his side can overturn a deficit next week, but United's CRISTIANO RONALDO, he's confident it'll be United appearing in next month's Euro final.
We have opportunity to score more goals, but we scored only 1 goal. Still good. We have to go Arsenal and score 1 or 2 goals, or draw. But Manchester show a few times we can score in everywhere, and this is a big challenge. But I believe we can score there.
With the team that you've got, you're confident you can do that next week?
Very confident. We look forward to win there and to go to the final. I believe that.
What would that mean to get to the final again? What would it mean to get to the final again?
Well, it's an unbelievable achievement if we go to the final. Yeah, the old players want that, and we look forward for that. The players are very confident.
For his part, former United defender Mikel Silvestre has spoken out about how well received by the Old Trafford crowd he was, but he disagrees with Ronaldo and expects his side to progress at United's expense.
We defended well. We had a lot of saves from our goalkeeper. He did really well, and the back four fight until the end. The opposition was amazing. You play against the best players in the world, so it's great. It's a great challenge as a defender.
And what's it like being back at Old Trafford tonight finally?
It was a good feeling. The fans were good with me, and I've seen a lot of people that I spent 9 years with, so it's good to be back.
And finally from last night, Patrice Evra has already put the game behind him, preferring to concentrate on domestic matters.
Obviously it's Middlesbrough coming up this weekend as well, and vital that you get all 3 points there.
It's a busy season. I think, you know, every day, every game is important, every game is the final. Play against Middlesbrough, it's not easy to play there. And after Arsenal, you know, it's a massive game.
Do the players enjoy this pressure at this stage of the season?
I think when you sign for Man United, you know that. You know that when you play for Man United, you need to win every game. It's a big pressure, it's a massive pressure, but I enjoy it. I think you need to say just thanks to God to play for Man United.
Now staying with football, but a little lower down the pyramid, DROYLSDEN and MOSSLEY went head-to-head last night in a final of the Premier Cup game, which saw one of the greatest own goals of the season.
Plenty of movement in the centre, and it comes in towards Byron. It's a great start for DROYLSDEN. A lot more urgency from them. Here's Brown. Falls for Sauvel. Brilliant. Here's Blackshaw. Up against Brownhill. Too much support. Cross does eventually come in, and Brown! That's an unbelievable own goal.
Yeah, we made it difficult for ourselves, didn't we? I mean, we should have scored early doors. We didn't do. And in a game like that, obviously, the more the time goes on, the more they come on to the game. They come on. We've got a 2-0 game. I thought we could really put our foothold on the game, but we didn't. We scored an own goal, and obviously they pushed us right to the end. So credit to MOSSLEY for making a game of it. But I thought the right result in the end.
In cricket's LV County Championship, Lancs are in action against Nottinghamshire at Old Trafford. At the close of play yesterday, the visitors had reached 52 for 1 in reply to Lancashire's 189 all-out. Ashwell Prince with 74, the top man with the bat. Andre Adams taking 4 for 49 for Notts, and a few moments ago Notts had reached 53 for 2. Oldham are set to announce the name of their new manager today, Jim Gannon. He's the man many believe has got the job, but it looks like being Darlington's Dave Penny. He guided the club from the Conference to League One, the highest position for 50 years, who will be unveiled later today. And there's more on that appointment in our early evening news bulletin. And finally, former Sale Sharks fans' favourite Sebastian Chabal has signed a 3-year deal, reportedly worth €1.2 million per season, with newly promoted French side Racing Metro. That's it from me for now. Ian Irving will be with you from 5 o'clock with all the latest sports headlines.
Mike, thanks very much for the update. Still ahead on the lunchtime news, the Sale Grammar School sixth form are trying to get to Fame School, and we go behind the scenes at Manchester's new children's hospital.
30 years ago, people started thinking about having a new children's hospital for Manchester, and now today we have actually taken over the key.
We've brought the existing staff round, and I think it'd be fair to say that they're delighted with the new facility.
Welcome back to Channel M's Lunchtime News. A quick reminder, you can watch this programme again or see any of our other reports online at channelm.co.uk. On there right now, the police officers in Gorton getting congratulated for the extra effort they're making in cutting crime, and another award-winning restaurant that's fallen victim to the recession. All that and much more at channelm.co.uk. Building work on Manchester's new children's hospital is officially complete. The keys to the site are being handed over to healthcare bosses, and patients are due to be transferred to the new facility in June. I've been along to get a preview of how the finishing off is going.
30 years ago, people started thinking about having a new children's hospital for Manchester, and now today we have actually taken over the key.
We've brought the existing staff round, and I think it'd be fair to say that they're delighted with the new facility.
Contractors have been on site for 5 years. Old, dilapidated buildings that were standing 2 years ago have been demolished to be replaced by state-of-the-art facilities.
We put a complete new infrastructure within the estate, all new steam mains, electrical mains, water and IT services. And at all times the hospital's kept running, so the patients have been secure and safe during this whole 5-year period.
For many years, we really had sort of 2.5 children's hospitals around the Manchester area, and 3 hospitals which really are past their sell-by dates in terms of facilities, space, environment. So there's long been a need to have an integrated hospital and link it closely to our laboratories, which are some of the finest in the world.
Well, I'm here in what will be the intensive care unit of the hospital, right above the accident and emergency entrance. This room is one of the isolated rooms where some of the very sickest children will be treated. Equipment already in there. Over here we've got what will become the nurses' station, where they can monitor all the different patients here. And then moving around here, this is actually the intensive care ward, and many more of the patients will be treated here. You can see various pieces of kit already starting to arrive. Much more still to come, though. With me is the General Manager, Roger Potts. Roger, just give us an idea what needs to happen before this is ready for patients.
Well, hello, James. Can I first of all say how delighted we are that we've handed this building over. What happens now is we've handed the keys to the trust. They'll start moving their equipment in. You can see there's no beds in here at the moment, so the beds will be coming in, the technical equipment will be coming in, and importantly, the familiarisation of the staff and the operation of the building will happen during this period. That'll take about a 6 weeks period, so by the 12th of June, the first patients will move in.
The whole new complex has some impressive statistics. It's made of 55,000 cubic metres of concrete. The 1.4 million kilometres of cable would go nearly 35 times around the world. The entire site is 1.5 times the size of the Trafford Centre.
This is one of the largest and certainly one of the best integrated children's hospitals and hospitals in Europe, frankly. And it's here in the north of England. We've had hundreds of staff across to have a look at it, and they go back with a real buzz. They can't wait to come here. We keep saying now you can move in, but you must leave your junk behind.
The government suffered a humiliating defeat over its treatment of Gurkha veterans looking to settle in Britain. 27 Labour rebels joined opposition parties to vote for a Lib Dem motion to give all Gurkhas who've served in the British Armed Forces equal rights to live here. Original proposals were full of requirements that could make it difficult for the veterans to get permission to stay. Pupils at Hayward Community College have got their science teacher back. Nurul Chowdhury was seen on TV getting booted off The Apprentice last night. The 33-year-old from Rochdale was fired by Sir Alan Sugar after his team failed in a task to sell bric-a-brac. He was criticised for not leading well enough, but insists programme makers edited footage to make him look quieter than he actually was. Bury Council have set a date to honour 3 of the area's most famous citizens. The lucky trio are Oscar-winning director Danny Boyle, pop band Elbow and the Paralympian Zoe Robinson. All of them will be granted the Freedom of the Borough in a ceremony next month. Only 26 people have been given that honour in the last 110 years. A sixth form student from Sale could be heading for stardom, except for the fact she can't afford it. Performing arts pupil Eleanor Lee, who's 17, is studying A-levels at Sale Grammar School and has won a place at Sir Paul McCartney's prestigious Leap of Fame School this September. But with annual fees of almost 7 times the amount of normal tuition fees, she fears her dream of becoming a West End star may be put on hold because of the recession.
Skies. Well, it's a year course, the diploma course, and it's £7,200. So it's quite expensive for the year, and also you can't get a student loan for it like you can on other courses, like 3-year degree courses. So that's a bit of an issue because it is quite a lot of money. But I'm looking for sponsorship and looking to raise my own money as well with fundraising events and things like that.
What's so special about Eleanor?
She's just a very natural performer from early on. She's had that extra special something that not all students have. She is very good at devising material as well as actually performing.
Little bluebirds fly above the rainbow eye. Oh, I can't.
The bank holiday weekend's getting ever closer. The big question we all want to know, will we get any sunshine? The lady with the answers is Michelle Eagleton.
Well, we had a dismal morning across Greater Manchester, a few showers, and unfortunately those showers will continue into the afternoon. Should start to clear up by the evening, but highs of 13 and 14, so quite mild one today. If you're going to be going outside, then do wrap up nice and warm. Going to need an extra couple of layers. As I say, by tonight though, it should start to dry up and clear up, and that leads us really nicely into Friday morning. We are expecting sunshine along with some showers in the afternoon. On the whole though, Saturday and Sunday is looking very nice indeed, but by bank holiday Monday, we're going to have some rain.
This is Channel M, our top stories. Holidaymakers who've decided to return from Mexico to escape swine flu have been arriving back at Manchester Airport. That, as the World Health Organisation says a pandemic is imminent. Salford Council has said sorry for sending a letter of condolence to a woman following the death of her husband at a care home when he was in fact alive and well. And British forces are this lunchtime ending their combat operations in Iraq. A handover ceremony is taking place ahead of them returning by the end of July after 6 years there. Those are today's headlines, and that was the lunchtime news. Much more on all those stories with Andy Crane from 5 tonight, but from me and the team here, bye-bye for now.